and I'm just going to read that out while we wait for our facilitator to join us this morning. So, Ambassador Alfred, you can raise your hand and we will give you the mic to speak. Just raise your hand and we'll give you the mic to speak. Thank you. Abigail said, project management and self-leadership was very insightful for me. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Mary says the session has been quite impactful. I love it. Abigail says the 5 principles of project management was a take-home assignment from me. Great. It would be great to know what's exactly like the specific thing that you took out from the 5 principles. And I would really appreciate if you can raise your hand so that you could speak more about that. I see Ambassador Alfred's hands up, so I'm just going to let you speak now. Please unmute and speak. You have the mic now.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hello.
Please go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
I'm not seeing anybody. I'm not seeing anything, please. I would love to be seeing who is a live program. So I'm not seeing anything. They just covered, please. Hello. Hello.
We can hear you. Please go ahead. What is your reflection from the boot camp?
Okay. The session from this day one have been amazing. The program, the projects, all. I see the effort, the time, the energy we have put into this. My question, first of all, is my community. I have galvanized and sanitized my community. Even they are all just waiting for the project to kick off. I will be very, very glad. Even all the stakeholders in the community, I have met them. They can't wait for this my water project to kick off, this borehole project to kick off, because water is life. My people have been suffering for water for years. Even the cause of getting water from the stream, these airborne diseases and waterborne diseases, a lot of projects to carry out in my community, but this is a first kickoff. So I will be happy and glad for my proposal to be among those that will be approved, because I have met other sponsors. I have talked with other sponsors too that will assist me in the financing. Hello.
Thank you so much for sharing. That's really thoughtful and wonderful to note. Abigail, you have the mic now. You can go ahead to speak.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
The sessions were quite insightful for project management. Like I said earlier, the 5 take-homes, which I actually really needed to work on. One, which is that project management is actually participatory, and one needs to understand that participation of key stakeholders are very, very important in carrying out a successful project. So when you go to a community, you're supposed to know that there are certain people in the community that needs to be aware of the project that you're going to carry out, and also that one, it is not just you bringing out a solution or giving the community what you feel that they need. It's something that they also identify as a need for them. That way, they will be fully involved in the execution and also sustainability of the project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abigail, for sharing. And I like the way you put your reflection. It's not just enough to design. You need to design in accordance with the community needs, and also work with the community so that you can also get their buy-in and also further strengthen the sustainability of your project. That's really amazing to note. And thank you for sharing. I'm going back to the chat now to read more responses. Please keep your responses coming. And also, if you know that someone you know is not on the call, please do a reminder to the person to join the call. Thank you so much. Ajiwaju Rachel, I hope I got your name right and I didn't murder it. I'm so sorry. Ajiwaju Rachel says, I love the leadership class. It was my best class ever, especially the aspects of self-actualization. Before you can lead, you must know yourself. I'm happy I joined the training this year. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's really good to note. Uche Chuku says, evaluation and monitoring was my favorite. It was impactful. I stayed up all night practicing what I learned. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Kingsley says, self-leadership and project management was very impactful. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for sharing all your reflections, everyone. If you haven't put your reflections in the chat, please do well to put your reflections in the chat, and we will read it if we have some time this morning. We have our facilitator now in the room and would like to go into the session for today so that we'll have more time to take your questions at the end of the session. I know that there are a lot of people on this call with so many questions to ask this morning. So we want to dedicate some time after the session this morning to attend to all your questions so that you have better clarity and you know what to do. So I'm going to be pulling up my slides now just to do some quick introductions and then yield the mic to him. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Can anybody see my screen? Oh, not yet. Okay. So I'm trying to pull that up in a minute. Can you see my screen now? Okay, great. Thank you for confirming that. So today, like I mentioned before, we are going to be discussing financial management, and we have someone in the room, our very own senior finance coordinator at Leap Africa. His name is Adenka Adewusi. He assumes the pivotal mantle of finance and admin coordinator at Leap Africa. He's an impassioned advocate for financial literacy and inclusion, seamlessly fusing his skill sets with a gift for effective communication. He stands as a venerated source of knowledge, equipping students, youth, and professionals at varying echelons with enlightening discourse on financial management, taxation intricacies, leadership paradigms, organization efficiency, and the transformative role of technology within the financial landscape. In his capacity as a financial modeling and valuation analyst, Adeyinka collaborates adeptly within multidisciplinary teams to construct intricate models on salient trends that inform strategic repositioning initiatives for the trajectory of Africa's future investments, particularly with regards to the financial inclusion of young adults within tertiary institutions. Currently, Adenka is engrossed in the scholarly pursuit of a thesis in accounting as a requisite step towards attainment of a master's degree from the prestigious University of Lagos. Beyond his academic milestone, he abhors ambitions of embarking on a scholarly odyssey, setting his sights on a doctorate in finance, driven by unyielding thirst for knowledge and a relentless dedication to the field. Please join me to welcome our facilitator today, Adeyinka Adewosi, Senior Finance and Admin Coordinator at LEAP Africa. Good morning, Adeyinka.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me. Thank you, Victoria, for the wonderful introduction. Thank you. Thank you for that. Good morning, everyone. If you can hear me, just in the chat box, kindly insert I can hear you, and I'm glad to be here. And also, please confirm that there is no noise in my background so that we can flow together. All right. So I would like to share my screen in a jiffy. And then we go from there. How are you feeling, and what section has been your section so far when it comes to this YDoS Bootcamp that you have been having? Can you just tell me your best section so far, please? Let me know your section so far. All right. And please do confirm you can see my screen. Do confirm you can see my screen. Today I'm going to be speaking on financial management. Yeah. Oh, Sudan of Lagos. I sense this section will do my best. Okay. Okay. Oh, you're okay, Abigail. I'm expecting your question, anticipating. Self-leadership. I think self-leadership was facilitated by C. Chukwemeka Okeke. He's a wonderful facilitator. I sat in the room when he was speaking, and I know that was a great section. Okay. Yeah, self-leadership. Thank you for your responses. I am honored to be here, and I'll just jump right at it. I am a fast talker. I talk very fast. So anytime you do not get what I'm saying, or I'm too fast for you, please do let me know in the chat box. Because when I speak fast, it helps my flow of thought and my organization of my words. Thank you very much. So today I'm going to be speaking on financial management practices and organizational system for enterprises. I know that as we are here and we are at the verge of carrying out our change project, we are on the verge of carrying out the things that we do, receive our grants and do great and mighty things within the social enterprise space. We need a lot of financial management. We need a lot of understanding of the way finances work. And I tell you, financial management or finances is 20% the funds you have and 80% administration. Take that from me anyway. The way that you can multiply your resources, get efficient and effective use of the things that you have in this form now, money and money's worth, or cash and cash equivalent, is determined by how much you can manage your funds. So what I'm going to be speaking to you about is very important. I want you to pay rapt attention and follow me. I'll be speaking basically today on financial management, on delegation of authority, on regulatory compliance, and on risk management. These key items will help you understand how to structure your management team when it comes to finances, or how to structure your finances. So what is financial management, and what is an overview of this course? What we want to really talk about today is that financial management process has been designed to improve organizational processes, organizational system, and organizational structure. And this process would help you to outline steps to be taken in order to discharge your daily, your weekly, and your monthly financial deliverables in any form. And financial management involves planning, involves organizing, involves controlling, involves monitoring your financial resources of the organization. Financial management is just what you know about management. Management will say getting things done through people. That is the definition of Mary Parker Fowler when it comes to the management. So financial management is basically planning, organizing, and controlling and monitoring the resources that you have, either through people, either by yourself. And in controlling, we face numerous complexity on different things at different levels or target different audiences. And this makes it extremely difficult for us to create a generic outline for an organizational structure, hence the need for delegation of authority. Now, I want to clearly say that the things I will be saying today is not one shoe fit all, but you have to look for a way to take what I'm saying and design it according to your own structure, because there are complexities when we look at, or bottleneck constraints when we look at different things, So the objective here is just to give you clarity, to give you structure, and to help you with compliance. So let's go to financial and investment readiness. So what is called financial readiness? And when we look at business ethics, we look at fund investors are interested in learning about your ethical practices, and the first thing that you need to look at, okay, am I financially ready to go into this industry? Am I financially ready to examine this project? Is for you to answer the question of ethics. Is not to say, okay, I have this money coming in and this is what I'm going to be doing. I have this money coming in, this is how I'm going to be spending it. No, you have to establish how is unethical behavior in your industry described. For example, in the finance industry, which I am a part of, though I work with the social, within the social industry space or social developmental space. But one of the things is that ethical behavior in my own industry is the disclosure of confidential information to another party. For example, I cannot tell you leaps what will I put it now? Half year. Okay, this is 2025. I cannot tell you LEAP's surplus. I cannot tell you LEAP's deficit. I cannot disclose LEAP's financial standing with you because in my industry, it is deemed unethical, except the audited financial statement is published, duly signed by the board. So we look at that. So whenever you are doing your project, wherever you are, you must ask yourself, what is unethical behavior in this industry, in this project I'm looking at? And you have to ask yourself, how do we deal with corruption and bribery situation? And because corruption and bribery situation goes a long way in the things that we do in the social development space and the change that we want to effect in Nigeria. So you ask yourself, am I going to bribe my way out of taxation? Am I going to bribe my way, there's difference between tax avoidance and tax evasion. They are two different things. So am I going to be bribing my way to evade some amount of taxes? You ask yourself, how do we deal with that in this industry? Because one of the things that will help you for proper financial management, it does not matter how much you have to be ethical. If you are not ethical about your money, about the sources of flow, it is assumed that you are laundering money. So what are the ethical standards? The first thing you must do is you must uphold ethical principles to build trust with donors, with partners, with beneficiaries, and with the community. I know that I'm a Christian, for example, and as a Christian, there are certain things that I believe in, I lean into. So, for example, as a Christian, we believe that money has wings. And so there's a way that we believe that the love of money is the root of all evil. And that there's a way that money changes the psychic of people. Money can affect, and that's one of the things that you would learn during the course of this section, is to understand that you must uphold ethical principle. The essence of upholding an ethical principle is to build trust. Once you build trust, there is no limit to what you can achieve within the social developmental space, within even the financial space, with your funders, with your partners, with your beneficiaries, even with your co-workers in your community, with your colleagues. Also, demonstrate integrity in all aspects of project to enhance credibility of your organization and the project itself. You must demonstrate integrity. There is no need to hold money back. For example, we at LEAP, we have different funders also, and as we get funds from our we are not taking questions now. If you have anything, just drop it in the chat box. Emmanuel, kindly put down your hands so that you just drop questions in the chat box if you have any. one of the things that we do is that if a funder gives us money, and probably because of the timeline of the program, we put the money into an investment mode, maybe like fixed deposit for the time which we will need the money and put it on call. We disclose the investment income or the interest income to that particular funder for that particular time. We do not in any way try to say that, okay, you gave me money, I'm supposed to use it in a year's time. So your money, I just put it in fixed deposit, generate some interest, and that's for me. No, it's not for you. It's for you to disclose to the funder, and the funder can now tell you, okay, you can use it for institutional strengthening, you can use it for program expansion, you can use it for business development, you can use it for capacity building, anyhow the funder wants. Consider ethical and legal implications to ensure that the organization's long-term sustainability. One of the things you must always ask yourself is, if I take this course of action, it is called ethical dilemma. If you take this course of action, what is the effect and what is the ripple effect? If you are found out, if something happens, what will happen? If somebody knows that you are doing this, what happens to you? What happens to your organization? What legal implication are you incurring? What legal obligation will happen to your organization, to your community, to your business, and what have you? And one of the things that you must know is that credibility can make or break an organization. If, for example, somebody gives you a grant, somebody gives you anything, and you in any way use it in any form that is outside of the budget or the proposal you've submitted without really notifying the entity which funded you, you would come to a point where if the funder knows, the funder can say, no, I don't want to work with that again. I don't want to work with that person again. I don't want to give this person the resources because this person is acting like with the, in quote, African mentality that we are trying to change, with the things that we are trying to combat. But another person can just disclose that, oh, we have this so budget line item, and the person, a simple mail, we are requesting your permission to do this. It is outside of the budget, and we would like your go ahead. And that what would I call it? That simple act of saying this of disclosure will help the organization and say, oh, these guys, they are good guys. So let's just go on. So what is your financial readiness? What do? You set up a board of directors. No matter how small in the capacity that you do, you set up a board of directors, you create board charters, you set up committee, you have regulated meeting procedures and document every meeting. One of the things you must know is that when setting up your board of directors, you must try to ensure that you have people that can hold you accountable. Don't say, I am the COO or I'm the CEO. We like to do that thing and say, okay, I am the team lead, I'm the CEO. So everybody answers to me. Everybody, you must respect me. You must, all those kind of things that we do. We must ensure that we have a board of directors set up. We must create board charters. We must set up different committees, and we must have, document our procedures and financial transparency. We must maintain transparent financial records and undergo regular audit to ensure accountability in fund management. For some of us as organizations, I don't know how your structure is, if you have been duly registered, with the Corporate Affairs Commission as an NGO, you have statutory obligation to undergo audit every year. Every year, annual audit is a statutory obligation. You must do it. You must, and you must publish it, because you are not for profit. If you are an NGO, all those things, except you're a private business. But even if you're a public business, PLC, you must publish your account. NGO, limited by grantee, you must publish your account for the public to see, and you must have transparent financial practices, and because it will instill confidence in donors and partners and contribute to the potential for sustained and continuous support for the organization. Transparency and integrity strengthen innovators' position. One of the things you must know is that transparency in this space does not weaken you. Integrity in this space does not weaken your resolve and the resolve of your funders and your donors. One of the things that it does is that it strengthens their position. It will help you to attract more funding from other people. There are people that have known that because of their transparent nature, when people go into rooms and they say, we need something for YDoS, we need this certain project, they will tell you, oh, this certain community or this certain person has done this change project under YDoS, and we like it, we like the flow of it. The person was a man of integrity and all those kind of things, and before you know it, the person gets again another one. So policies in financial management, as you have your project, the things that you do, you must have this, what will I call it now, this 6 or 7 policies. Not necessarily you can collapse them from time to time, but depending on the structure of your organization, you must have a financial policy that documents how you go about your transaction, your financial recording, the things that pertains to your money and money's worth, your invoices, your support document, your terms of reference, your SLAs, and all those things. You must have a financial policy. How do we pay funders? Do we pay funders 70-30? Vendors rather 70-30? What do we do? How is our income statement recognized? Income and expenditure? How is our balance sheet or statement of financial position presented? What do we do in cases of, let's say, per diem, cash advance request? All those things will be in your financial policy. Another one you must have is your fixed asset policy. And we know in Africa, they used to say that maintenance is one of our problems. We don't know how to maintain things. We don't know how to maintain assets. We don't know how to maintain any capital expenditure or project. But one of the first things is that you must have a fixed asset policy. And a fixed asset is an asset that cannot be used up within a fiscal year, which is 12 calendar months, which means that if you have an item in your organization that you can carry for 2, 3, 4 years, more than 12 months, 15 months, 16 months, 18 months, 24, 42, 38, all those kind of months, 72, all those things, you must ensure that you have a fixed asset policy for it. So how do you treat your fixed asset? What is the maintenance culture? What is the disposal criteria? All those things, you must have it, even as little as your laptop, in your offices, in your community, on your project, on your setup and business organization, in your enterprises. You must know how to handle them. So asset disposal policy, that's why I said 6, and fixed asset policy can be imputed into one, can be one. And you must ensure that you have a fixed asset register that helps you track who is with which asset, where is this asset, what is the depreciation value, if it's an intangible asset, what is the amortized value, and what is the carrying amount. All those things. You must have an investment policy. It is very good that as the social enterprise, if you are, or as a business, have investment. Don't just believe that every don't just believe that every fund you get and your surplus and everything needs to be used up. If you have a surplus on a project, put it into investment. If you have a long-time project, and investment means investment that are low risks because of the volatility of the industry that you play in. Have a procurement policy. How do you buy? I want to let you know that procurement is not purchasing. Procurement is not, I see, what do I call it now? I see A4 paper in the supermarket, and I feel like we are going to need A4 paper. So I just bought the A4 paper. I feel like, I feel like we need stapler. I just bought stapler. I feel like we need, procurement is not purchasing. Procurement is based on request. You have a request, you have a need that is evidently seen in the organization, and you must follow the procurement cycle. Don't just say, okay, let us go and buy this. No, follow procurement cycle. Have a threshold. What do we do? How many invoices do we get if we are spending this amount of money? How many invoices do we get? We are spending this amount of money. Where is conflict of interest going to arise? If I know a particular vendor, should I give the person the job? Will that constitute conflict of interest? If things go wrong, would I be able to speak to the person? So you need to have a procurement policy and have an anti-money laundering policy. Don't say, in Nigeria of today, we have the volatility of our financial sector due to a lot of things that is going on and boycotting. So there is a lot of anti-money laundering practices going on. Don't let somebody give you money, including Leap Africa. Let's say they give you money, for example, and they say, I'm going to give you $5,000. But what you are supposed to get is $2,500. Then you will now send $2,500 to us in Naira, or you send it to an account. All those kind of things. Don't always allow it. If somebody makes mistakes into your organization or enterprise account and says, oh, we made a mistake to pay this money to you, please send it back to us. Ensure that it is your bank that is doing that. Just go to your bank. Oh, this happened. Let your bank be the one to remove the money. Don't send the money back to them. I'm talking about organizational setting, because mistakes can happen truly, but there are other ways that are not mistakes, that they are using your account to, do a lot of money laundering transactions. Don't let somebody donate to you and say, as I'm donating to you, I'm going to donate to you this also amount, but I will send $100,000 to you. Your donation to your organization is $20,000. So your organization will send this to my Nigerian account, 80,000. Don't allow that. Let's go on. So what are the process areas when you are talking about your financial policy and your financial processes? You are looking at your financial accounting and record documentation, GAAP or IFRS in our case. You are looking at your subsidiary financial record. You are looking at transaction approvals and timing. You are looking at project coding, your cost. You are looking at period closeout and monthly performance review. You are looking at budgeting and forecasting. You are looking at in-kind donations. You are looking at your audited financial statement. You are looking at your regulatory compliance, your SCUMU, your payee, your pension, your withholding taxes. You are looking at your fixed asset schedule. You are looking at your cash flow management, and you are looking at your bank reconciliation. I'm going to pause here. If you're with me, just say I am with you. Because I've been speaking for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes non-stop. Just type I am with you if you're with me in the chat box. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I see that. Thank you. So I can continue. So another thing is, when in financial processes or your financial policy or financial management, don't joke with supporting documents. When I mean don't joke with supporting documents, don't say, I am buying chewing gum and you don't have receipt. You're a social enterprise. One of the things that will happen to you is that there will be times that funders will ask you, or donors will ask you to produce financial statement on how you use their money, and they'll have their own auditors to audit it. And it's not, I bought something. If you go and use social enterprise money to buy a car, say you bought a car of 35 million, they now say you should report. You now say, I spent this money. They will ask you for receipts. They will ask you for all those things. So invoicing and receipting is very important. Timesheet is very important for your staff, for everybody. Timesheet, how people work, your contract, your times of reference, your service level agreement, your SL is very important. Your working budget to check and track where you are, how you are implementing from time to time. At what point are you aligned with the organizational budget? Your folders and filing and documentation, your different schedule, your fixed asset schedule, your amortization schedule, there are just so many schedules that you must put in place. Next, we go to, why do we use a policy and why do we use procedures? Why do you need that? Why do you want that? Why do you have to go through all this stress? Why not just be doing things as you like? One of the things that you must know is that policies and procedure ensures all staff are aware of the obligation in relation to finance transaction within the business. You must know that every person in your organization, they must be aware of the obligations in relation to finance. They must just not wake up and say, oh, I did not know. When people say in the organization, they say, we don't do, I did not know. You're supposed to retire. They give you a cash advance. You went to the store to buy something. There is no retirement, no receipt. You say, I did not know I'm supposed to get receipt. Or you go to filling station, you bought for, I did not know I'm supposed. No, the essence of policies are so that everybody is aware. It gives each employee a clear understanding of what to expect and allow. Another thing is that due diligence and internal control. helps you know. It helps you identify your KYC. They need to know your customer. They need to know your vendors. They need to know your beneficiaries. They need to know everybody. For example, at Leap Africa, if you are applying like you are in the YDoS Bootcamp now, we will do a due diligence on you. We will know you, know your business. We will verify your documents. We will verify everything. If something seems off, we know that something is off. And that is one of the things you must do. You must ensure that you do everything in your power to get a due diligence and internal control is in place. At Leap Africa, there's a way that let me use example of our purchase order. We have an enterprise resource planning system called Oracle NetSuite. There are different kinds. There are Dynamic 360 of Microsoft and all those things. But we in our organization we use Oracle NetSuite. And if you have a request for internal control sake, you don't just say, "Oh, I have a request. Oh yeah, give me money." I don't even handle payment. I don't even touch money. That's how funny it is because it is control. I don't touch money. I don't approve money because you must have control. There's a way that one person should not start a process and finish it. There must be people, like it must be so much that people cannot collude. So in our organization, for example, we have, let's say, first level supervisor, we have second level supervisor. So I'm going to take people like the P&C, the people culture and admin in my organization. So we have Oche. Oche is our people and administration coordinator. And we have Grace. Grace is the PCA officer. So for example, if Grace has a request and say, "Oh, Adinka, I need 10,000 books to go for leapers and this and that." Okay. I'll tell her, "Grace, go and raise a purchase request." Grace raises a purchase request. The request goes to our N1, in this case, which is Oche. Oche looks at the request. Is this request viable? Is this request something we really want to do? If Oche sees that it's good, Oche will say, "Okay, approved." From Oche, it goes to the procurement unit. The procurement looks at it. When they look at it, they look at, okay, this is a request we have. The procurement go out, source for vendors, get invoices, at least 3 invoices. They attach it to the PO and they say, "Oh, they choose the vendor." It is not the requester that chooses the vendor. The procurement unit chooses the vendor and say, "This is the person that will give us our value for money. This is the person that we are going to have the most efficient quality and quantity in every form that we have it." When the procurement unit imputes that vendor and everything, it comes to, let's say, somebody like me. It comes to me as the procurement lead right now. And when it comes to me, I look at it. Is this request viable? Is it good? Is the amount okay? I check. Okay, approved. Then it goes to N2 of Grace. N2 of Grace is or Chess Direct Supervisor. And the N2 of Grace will look at it again. This request came from my unit. Oh, is it nice? Is it okay? What price are you giving? When the N2 approves, then it go to the executive director. Then you're laughing. It's people's money, it's not our money. Then it goes to the executive director. The executive director looks at the request. This is systemized, is a technology. So it's not that you'll be going to one person. The person just see the prompts in their mail, they click on it, they look at it, and all. If the executive director approves, then it comes to finance department. When the finance department sees it, finance department also checks it, raise a vendor bill, approve the vendor bill, and initiate payment. That will help internal control. So somebody cannot just wake up and say, even if is the executive director, and say, "Oh, send me 20 million to my account." Why are we sending you 20 million? Does it follow the due process? And that is it. And it's a proven way to help your managers and supervisors make consistent and reliable decisions. If you have your policy and your procedures, everybody that comes into the organization knows what to do. And that is what, so when somebody leaves the organization, the next person coming in is not struggling. "Oh, what do I have to do?" No, there is a policy there, and it raises awareness among employees. Let's just go on. And budgeting. Let's talk about budgeting for an instant. So if you caught everything I've just said, just say that I got it. Just put it in the chat box. I got it. If you understand that, just say, "I got it. I got it. I got it" in the chat box. So that I go. Thank you, Nafisa. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. So let's talk about budgeting. Let's talk now about budgeting. One of the things that, oh, thank you, Abdul Salam. You're so kind, guys. Thank you. Budgeting. One of the things that you must know is that in the social enterprise or in any business enterprise, budgeting is very important. Budgeting is what tells you where you want to go. Your vision, your financial vision is cast in budget. And let me tell you, finance is the language of strategy. If you, for example, go on my LinkedIn, you will see there that finance is the language of strategy. There is no strategy that is void of finance. If you have a strategy and it's not financially backed up, or you don't have a strategy. So the thing that you must know is that the first way to put out your strategy, to cast the vision when it comes to finances, is your budget. And your budget does not usually talk, because every time people talk about budget as only your expenditure. Sorry, somebody's mic is open, please. All right, thank you. Can you help me with that mic? All right, thank you. So one of the things we must recognize is that budgeting is not only expenses, because when they say budget, everybody's thinking expense. Budgeting is your financial forecast, everything. So we say budgeting is a planning tool, a management planning tool. It's used for cost control also. There are different benefits of budgeting. So you must ensure that you have a budget. Don't just step into the room and say, okay, if I ask you for this YDoS project, how many of you have a budget in mind? What is the revenue you want to receive? What is the inflow, the income that you want to have? And what do you want to do with that? What do you want to do with that? With the what do I call it now? With the revenue or with the income? How are your expenses aligned? And what is your, the variation, the actual? What was your last year actual? What are you projecting this year? In your budget, you would do things like you make assumptions. You make assumptions, economic assumptions, like what is the current inflation rate? What is the current food inflation rate? What is the economic growth in the country? What is the foreign exchange rate? At what rate is our currency devaluing? What is the interest rate? What is the lending rate? What is the MPR rate? You look at those rates and use it to develop your budget, so that when you are highlighting cost, you do not say, oh, okay, I budgeted 50,000. By Q2 2025, the money is now 150,000. If you had put in inflation rate of the current economy, you would know that price would go up higher. You look at, there are different assumptions, not just economic indicators, strategic indicators too, qualitative indicators, like the things that is happening in your office. Are you going to grow? Are you going to recruit more employees? What is going to happen? Are you going to need a new space? You look at all those things and you make your assumptions. So it's not like saying, oh, budget is not, how much is how much is laptop? Oh, 600,000. Okay, we need 5. So you put 3 million there and you say you've done a budget. No, that's not a budget. You look at all the assumption. You look at all the cost component that you have in your organization, no matter how tiny is it, as tiny as stationery, let it go into your budget. Have a budget before the beginning, or before you start any project cycle. Have a budget for that stuff. So preparing budget adequately helps you to ensure that all components are accounted for and give room for the organization to realize a surplus when delivering quality project. If you have a budget already, it helps you to have a cost cap, and that's when I'll talk about budget management. Budget management is in ensuring that the budget is strictly adhered to, and all expenses are properly negotiated, with the support of your procurement team or your admin team, to ensure that you don't go overboard. And whenever you are going overboard, there must be a tangible reason for it. For example, in Leaf Africa, we call it exceptional approval. When you want to make an item that is not on your budget, you must get an exceptional approval. You cannot just wake up and say, oh, is it my fault? They are selling it 10,000 and I put 5,000 there. Is it my fault? Am I Nigeria? Am I Africa? Am I this one? That is not Your own is you stick to the budget. And that is why people don't like accountants. People used to say, oh, accountants are stingy. They are this. No, we are not stingy. We are controlling cost. Imagine that we do that for everybody that is coming and something is 5,000 and we are spending 10,000. Everybody, we are just, it will not work. We will sink the organization. and that is very important. So you have your working budget. At Leap Africa, we do something that is very important. Whenever we have an item, whenever we have an item that is, let's say, for 100,000 naira, I'm taking as an example, we put our budget on 100,000 naira. We tell ourselves we want to do a cost saving mechanism. So we now have a working budget. On our working budget, the budget price or what we imputed on our budget, the cost is 100,000. On our working budget, we will put the working budget amount. How much are we working with? We usually do like a 10% cost saving depending on the department and the program. So we will say 90,000. So we budgeted 100,000, but what we are saying that we can spend, the highest we can spend is 90,000. What that does is that it helps us put a cap. So when we are negotiating with our vendors, when we are talking to anybody, is 90,000 we have. Though we have 100,000, if the person is saying 95,000, is 90,000 we have. Until maybe there is no now a leeway for us to go, then we'll not say that. But at that point, it helps you save 10%. And that's how to track how you manage your costs. And budget closeout just has to do with balancing the budget by accounting for all your expenditure and determining whether there is a surplus or deficit at the end of the project execution. Always try to do that. Determine whether you are running at a loss. And in our personal accounts, many of us do that. We have money in our account and we just spend. Then when maybe the balance is low, depending on yourself, people have different threshold for not having money. Some people, if they have 100,000, they'll say I'm broke. Some people, if they have 10,000, they are still rich. Some people, if they have 200,000, they are broke. All these kind of things. And in our personal finances too, we can just be spending money. We receive salary or we receive our income from a business or anything. We just spend. We don't even know whether we are, and it's not supposed to be like that. We need to determine, are we running on a deficit or are we making progress? All right, let's go on. So let's talk about the procurement process a bit. The things that this is not a one shoe fit all. This is our template at Leap Africa. So you can tweak to yours. You can tweak to yours. You can look for a way to just work around it. For us at Leap Africa, if you have a need, if you have a request, the policy states that you raise it 3 weeks before. Not everybody used to adhere to this policy because of time constraints, some emergencies, but it is important that, for example, I'm going on a project. I know that this project will happen. This program will happen. What do we need? Do we need flight tickets book? Do we need all rentals? Do we need the setting, all decoration, the chairs? Do we need souvenirs? All those things. I already know that I need it. I don't go to the procurement team 2 days to my program and say, procurement, I need flight to Sokoto. I need flight to Taraba. I'm bringing a facilitator from Abuja. I'm bringing a facilitator from Abidjan. I'm bringing a facilitator from Nairobi and one from Kigali. I don't do that. I don't go. You raise it 3 weeks before. What that does is that it helps them to plan. They are able to plan and say, these are the needs. And when you give them time, they get you the best price. And that's one of the things I want to tell you. They get you the best price. If you don't plan, you are going to make emergency transactions. There are motives for holding money. Three practical reasons for holding money. We call it in economics precautionary reasons, transactionary reasons, and speculatory reasons. Do you understand? So when you hold money, you want to buy things, but at times when you do not plan for it and people are giving you different prices because you need it, because of your need, because of your want and desire, you want to execute immediately, you just go and purchase. But if you had planned long before, told your procurement team or your admin team, no matter how the setting is, oh, this is what we need for this project. Can you start working on it? Can you get vendors? Can you get this? And don't be the one that you'll have a program and you get vendors. One of the things that aid integrity is control, and it helps you stop conflict of interest. If I have program now, for example, I want to do a program somewhere and I'm going to need inverters, I'm going to need this. I know somebody to call for inverter. At times, we know a lot of people. We know people we see on our WhatsApp status that sell this, I sell that. But to keep your integrity intact so that you don't get caught, because some people, even when you don't ask for caught, they are funny. If you give them business, they want to do PR for you. They'll say, Oga, thank you for giving me this job. Oh, take this. And and in the social enterprise space, it is wrong. We don't do that. We don't do that. So if you guys say, I know somebody that can do this job, because you know that the person is going to give you change, don't engage that person. That person is already a red flag. So when you raise your purchase requisition, your supervisor approves, your line manager or whoever it is, depending on your settings, says, okay, this is good to go. Then the procurement, they will look for it. They'll search for vendors that sell those things or that provide that services. They do a know your client or know your vendor for them. They onboard them. They source for 3 invoices. They look at the terms of reference or the SLAs, and they will explain, are we charging withholding taxes? This is also compliance that you must know. You're a social enterprise. It means that what it means is you don't pay what will I say, you don't pay taxes. And the only tax you don't pay is company income tax. You are not exempted from VAT. You are not exempted from withholding taxes. This must be very clear that there are some items that are vatable depending on your countries. Now, I know that I'm speaking to a wider audience from different African countries, and you must know from time to time what the tax law is in your jurisdiction. So you can be exempted from company income tax. You don't pay company tax at the end, but VAT, value added tax, you will see that your vendors will quote tax that VAT for you. That means you will charge withholding tax. Then you have the manager's approval, the CEO approval, then finance pay. In our company, in our organization, like I said, we use a 70-30 model. We pay you 70 upfront. When you complete the project, we pay you 30%. Delegation of authority. Let me pause here and check in on you guys. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Let me know if you're with me and talk about delegation of authority. All right. All right. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I was saying before when we were speaking, or when I started earlier, I said that finance process does not start and end with one person. Any finance process that starts and end with one person, you need to check that finance process. Uh, you need to check it. If you as the boss, you as the boss of anything you are doing, the financial process of that business starts and ends with you. This is different from maybe you are just a one-man person. Do you understand? Getting volunteers and all. But even if you get volunteers, you can encourage your volunteers to participate in the finances. Look at somebody you trust. So we are looking at delegation of authority and trying to understand that you cannot at any time start and finish a process. You must learn to delegate. You must learn to allow other people have input. It puts you in check. And that is why, for example, in Nigeria, we have 3 arms of government. We have the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. In other countries, they have the House of Commons, the House of Lords. In UK, for example, the UK Parliament. It's just check and balances. Check and balances. Check and balances. In the US, they have the Senate, they have the executive. When Donald Trump just came in and he was signing executive orders, and one of my friends was arguing with me. I said, no, it will not happen. Is an executive order. He does not have the right to change the constitution. The constitution goes. So there are some things, and that's what happens when there's delegation of authority. It prevents what will I call it, showmanship. It prevents one man show, and you're just there doing your things. So delegation of authority must be officially recorded and approved. You must know who is doing what, who is doing it. It must be very clear. And that is why we have structure. It must be very clear. And And an individual delegating authority is expected to not delegate more authority than what he or she possesses. For example, the authority that I have on this section is to facilitate. I don't have authority to disburse money, and I can only stay there. I don't have the authority to remove participants. I don't have the authority to kick out participants to do. No, I don't have that authority. My authority is within me facilitating the section. That's the way it must be. So I cannot delegate more authority to you that are on the call or in the section than what I have. No, I cannot do that. And you must know that there should be a periodical review of delegations of authority for continued relevance and proper functioning. You need to check one over time. So what I was looking for the other time was a key man risk. If you look at some settings and some organizations and some social enterprises, you will know that if one person is not around, nothing gets done. Have you ever been in that kind of place where it is a team, it is a community, whatever it is. But if one person is not around, nothing gets done. Have you ever been there? If you have been there, say yes. If you have had that experience, just type yes in the chat box, where you are in a setting that if one person is not around, that particular person, nothing will get, nothing, not exactly. So that thing is called key man risks. What that means is that if the person is not available, we will not get things done. And that is why from time to time, we must ensure that we delegate authority. And an individual receiving a delegation of authority must be capable and qualified. Don't give authority to somebody that is available. You cannot say, oh, because you're available, I'm just delegating to you. No, you give to somebody that is capable and qualified. And you must properly train people to effectively carry out the function that he or she is accountable for handling, in a position to perform the function without fear of being countermanded. When you give people authority, you must ensure that they don't have the fear of retribution. People usually complain that people don't take ownership. People don't take ownership because they are afraid. People don't take ownership because they know that if they do the right thing, you will come for them. When you have team leads, maybe somebody, for example, let's take me, for example, I am the one that came to YDoS Bootcamp. I am the team lead for, what do I call it? Agent of Change. Agent of Change, that's the name. And I, as a team lead, let me look for names in the chat box. Okay. As the team lead, I am very, I came to YDoS Bootcamp, and Sheyi and Victoria has promised me that, oh, Adenka, you have done well. You are going to, what does that mean now? You are going to get funding, let's say $20,000. And I say, oh, Sheyi and Victoria, thank you very much. Then Juliet is on my team. Aisha is on my team. Ambassador George is on my team. And everybody's on my team. And after I came back from the boot camp, I say that, okay, Ambassador George, you be my accountant. And as he's my accountant, Juliet, you do this, you do that. And so I now start say, Ambassador George, as you are the accountant, you are handling everything finance. I'll now go to him and say, Ambassador George, give me $5,000. And he says, what do you want to use it for? And I'm saying, my friend, will you give me $5,000? Who gave you this thing? What I'm doing is that I'm intimidating him. If you don't give me this money, I'm going to sack you right now. I'm going to fire you. What I'm saying is that I'm trying to say that, Ambassador George, you are just a figurehead. And when we do that, people would not own up. Once a vision that people will believe in is what they feel part of, what they feel is theirs. So if they feel like that vision is theirs, they want to do the right thing, and you have to allow them to do the right thing. But if you're intimidating them from time to time, if you are saying, no, this is the way I want it done, and the person is saying, oh, sir, accounting principle. Let's say Ambassador George is telling me now, sir, accounting principle, this is how we post. This is how we make financial decisions when it comes to this and this and this. And this is why you hired me. I am a professional. That is why I'm here. And I look at him and say, professional, is that not why I'm paying you? You listen to me what I say. When I've not really delegated authority, I've not given him that stuff to do. So somebody's saying, what if it's an organization's finance? What happens is that in organizational finance, there's structure already. So organizational finance, there's clear delegation of authority. There are approval levels. That's why there's a finance manager. There are people in the finance team. There are people that make informed decisions. There are times that when the executive director will want to do something and the finance will tell them, no, you cannot do this thing. And this is why you need a board. This is why you need a board, because when conflict like this ensue, you can take it to the board. That's why board have different committee. We have governance committee, we have finance audit and risks committee. We have different kind of committees like that. Then the board can weigh in and say, and that is why it is always good, even if you are the lead of an organization, have a board that you're accountable to. Don't think that because you are the top, you can do it all, or you know it all, or you can have it all. No, you cannot. So at times you listen to the input of others, and when there are, discrepancies, you can, talk to your board and say, oh, I have this challenge. You try to go this direction. The finance manager or the finance people are saying this is not the right direction to go. And I feel so strongly that this is the direction to go. But from their lens, they see it this way. Can you advise me? Then the board, they are experienced people. They will tell you if the finance people is right. They will tell you, oh, these guys are right, and this is the way you should go. Or if you're right, the board will give an order and say, okay, finance people, this is it, but we are buying into the vision of the executive director at this time, and we would like you to do that. So that is that. So ways of making delegation of authority. There are different ways of doing that. Just a minute. So you have a DOA manual. You need it. So you have a DOA matrix. You say, okay, there's somebody that is going to initiate, there's somebody that is going to consult, there's somebody that is going to recommend, there's somebody that is going to approve or reject a request, there's somebody that is going to execute, and there's somebody that you would inform. That's the delegation of authority. So we initiate, and this, it does not have to be like many people. 3 people can do all this. 3 people can do all this. Somebody can initiate and consult with another person, and the final person recommend. And the person that consults can approve or reject, and the person that initiated can execute. Then you inform the person that recommends, depending on the structure that you have. So you must check. You can see that consultation is about seeking the views and opinion of other people. Delegation of authority, for example, in our organization, there are certain amounts that we can approve. There are certain amount that the executive directors can approve. There's certain amount that once it is above that amount, the executive director cannot touch it, cannot approve. It must go to the board. So it's just on understanding the flow. But we created the executive, the DOA manual, the delegation of authority. We created it, but the executive director was the one that sat on it and approved it. But even in the DOA manual, there are certain things she cannot undertake. It's just to help you be transparent. So finance process, the delegation begin with developing a RASI, review, approve, consult, initiate, do your RASI matrix, identify the process areas, assign responsibility and authority limit. Also have different individuals are usually delegated the authority to handle different activities of financial process. For example, in my department now, the person that does bank reconciliation is different from the person that reviews bank reconciliation, and is different from the person that prepares the MPR. What happens is that in the process, we can ascertain and highlight financial loopholes. If something is not done well, somebody can call it out. If somebody is trying to hide figures, somebody can see it. It's just like that, and it helps. It helps. Let's just go on because of time. This is stage of typical financial transaction process: transaction initiation, transaction approval, transaction verification, post-transaction review. I think I've spoken on this. So let's look at authority, type of authority, and the function to be delegated. Let's look at our standard financial process. The procurement of goods and services, approved ledger adjustment. This is talking about finance, bills approval, journal entry approvals, and their system access, financial system access. We have people that have access to financial information the payroll, like for example, in this organization, only finance and the HR, which we call our P&C, knows payroll, understands anything about payroll. When I say knows payroll, it's not that I can execute payroll. No, has the information about payroll. And there's something we call role-based access control. You must understand that there are different roles. When you are delegating authority, there are different roles that will have certain access. Do you understand? In the IT department, there are many people. For example, all our mails in the organization, the IT have access to it. But I cannot have access to another person's mail. Do you understand? There are just certain things that happen, and that is blocked for your financial information too. There are people that will have access. Let me give another balance to what I'm saying. At times you have some people in your organization that maybe they are working with you and they want more money, and you don't have more money to pay them. And maybe one day one of them they've been saying they send the HR and say, "Oh, we would like a rise in pay," and they come to you and they say, "Oh, we need," and you said, right now the finance department analyzed, we don't have such amount of money." Let's not say somebody in the programs department now comes to the finance department one day and now looks at and now looks at the bank statement. He saw the bank statement open and saw the balance in the company's account and shout, "Hey, we have money, oh, they don't want to pay us." Imagine that happens. Do you know why? Why is because the person thinks that because of that balance, automatically the company is liquid enough to pay. At times, there's difference between profitability and liquidity. I think people used to mix it up. There's difference between profitability and liquidity. And they'll say cash is king, you must always be liquid. You can be liquid and not profitable. It's as simple as that. You have many obligations, you have liabilities to pay, you have a lot of things to pay. And people are seeing balances and are wondering that, oh, you should have money to more, but no, there are obligations that have taken up this money. And people are just looking at it's just like the way somebody comes to you. Let me make it very simple. Yeah. A very simple way that we will all get this. When you collect salary, I'm a salary earner, for example. I work and I get paid at the end of the month. When you collect salary, before you collect your salary, you have a calculation of what you want to use your money for. You have broken it down. Oh, I'm buying food. Oh, I'm sorting this out to rent. Let's say you earn 1 million naira and you have made your analysis, and somebody asks you for money and you say, "Oh no, I don't have this money." Then while you are with the person sitting down by that person, the person sees your bank alert. They just paid your salary 28, today's 27 or 26 of June. They just paid your salary 1 million naira, and the person looks at you, "Bro or sis, you told me you don't have money. How come this is 1 million naira?" The person is thinking 1 million naira. All what you are seeing in that money is transport to go to work. That's all you are seeing. Because you know that money is gone, and that's the way it happens. And that is why we need controls over financial information. There have to be controls. There have to be controls. Expense reimbursement, vendor payment, vacation or sick leave. This one, temporary delegation. You can say, "I'm that person should do it," and leave of absence. Let's go on. How has been the section so far? Are you enlightened? Are you getting something? If you're getting something, just type in the chat box, "I'm getting something. I'm getting something." I hope that you're able to get something out of this. Just type in the chat box, "I'm getting something," then we go on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, great, great, great. Thank you, Eunice. Value. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's go on. So let's talk about regulatory compliance. For us as social enterprise, one of the things we can never play with is regulatory compliance, because government can shut us down. Government policies can destroy businesses. One of the things that people don't know, I know that people used to think that government is not powerful. They used to, do a lot of things, especially in Africa, where we have corrupt, a lot in a lot of ways. But even in their corruption, government is an institution that has a constituted authority. And no matter what we do, government are players that you want to keep happy. So now don't think as an individual, think as an organization, think as an artificial person, because an organization properly registered at law is an artificial person. It has its own identity. Now, as an individual, I might be shouting, "Oh, government, you people are bad. You are not doing this. You are not doing this. Taxes. You are wasting taxes, and you want me to be paying this. You are buying this. You are buying that." But as an organization, there's nothing that I want to do with, oh, government doing this, doing this. My first role is active citizenship. My first role is compliance. In active, that's my first role. So as an organization now, Leap Africa has to be compliant to everything the government requires. We have to be compliant with the policy. If there are policy changes, we have to learn. We have to adjust from time to time. Like today now, yesterday, in Nigeria, for example, Taiwo Oyedele was posted. There was an information from the desk of the president that today they are going to sign the tax reform bill. 4 tax reforms going to go into law today. If it goes into law today and it is in effect, is going to take in retrospect, which means if it comes this today, June 26th, it means that all the taxes for the month of June, it will take effect immediately. That's what it means. And what we have to do is we have to be compliant. So you too, in your organization and social enterprises, you have to be compliant. And for us in Nigeria, in regulatory bodies and law governing the profit sector in Nigeria, one, you have the Corporate Affairs Commission. That's the CAC where you register. You must ensure that you are duly registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission. You must ensure that you file your audited financial statement with the Corporate Affairs Commission. You must ensure that your director, if there are changes in director, your status report is updated yearly. You must do that with the CAC. You must do that. Another one is the Federal State Inland Revenue Service, FRS. That's a mistake, sorry. Federal Inland Revenue Service and State Internal Revenue Service. So there are 2 different things. So the federal is always inland and the state is always internal. You must comply with them. For federal, we have taxes like withholding taxes, like VAT, all those things. For state, we have payee because we don't pay CIT. We have payee and all the things. SCUMUL is Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering. That it is with the EFCC. You must sign up SCUMUL. You must register for SCUMUL and you must file SCUMUL from time to time. At Leap Africa, we file SCUMUL monthly. Any money we receive, we file a report on the SCUMO platform to say we received this money from this so person for this so. So it's not just we are just receiving. No, we declare every time, especially dollar transaction, every amount you file. And that thing is the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria. You must comply with them. The Federal Ministry of Budget and Planning. That's why it's good as somebody in the social space. Look at the budget. For example, in Nigeria, when they released the appropriation bill for 2025, and we were looking at it and people were seeing a lot of things. The budget of the federal ministry will help you plan. So you must align with them. State regulatory agencies, like all this land use charge, there are just a lot of them, waste disposal, all those things. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC actually oversees the SCOMO, the Special Control Unit Against Anti-Money Laundering, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Money Laundering Act Prohibition Act 2022. I did not include here also the Freedom of Information Act. There are some information that you have that should be free to air. When I say free to air, like must be made public. It must be made public. Like, for example, your audited financial statement, you must publish it. Either you put it on your LinkedIn. If you don't have a website, you put somewhere where people can see, where people can have access to it. At the end of the year, when it is audited, you must publish it. Company and Allied Matter Kama. So there's that came twice. And Terrorism Act. You must pay attention to all this. And I wish that I was able to go deep into money laundering. So you know the acts that that constitute money laundering. Okay. So code of conduct. What is regulatory compliance? One of the things is avoid penalty, ensure compliance with local, national, and international regulation to prevent legal consequences and financial penalty. And you know that the industry that we have is an industry of goodwill. Can somebody type an industry of goodwill in the chat box? Just an industry of goodwill. Please just type it, an industry of goodwill. An industry of goodwill. In the chat box, can we have it? Thank you. Thank you, Rokibat. Thank you. Thank you. What it means is that what it means for us is that there's a difference between the way bad PR will affect Dangote and the way bad PR will affect social enterprise. There's a way bad PR, because they are dealing with goods and services. They are dealing with something that the people need. You are doing something that you need. You see that the people need it, but is a social effect that is going to cause a change. A social effect that is going to cause a change. And one of the things that you must know in this is that you must prevent things that will bring you legal consequences, that your name or the name of your enterprise will be out there. Because once your goodwill is smeared, it's very difficult. Yeah, you thrive on public trust. Social enterprises, we thrive on public trust. We thrive on what the public perception of us. So we must ensure at every time, and you must pass this down to the people that work with you from time to time, what they do. So you must protect organizations' integrity. You must familiarize yourself with the regulatory requirement within your industry. You must create policy and procedures to enable compliance. And when in doubt, ask. Somebody just put ASK in the chat box. ASK. When in doubt, ASK. When in doubt, ASK. Exactly. When in doubt, please ask from time to time. If you're in doubt about something, don't just say, I will just use my head knowledge. It's not about head knowledge. Just do it. When in doubt, ask. Ask question. Ask and ask and ask. Get opinion, get professional opinion. Don't say, oh, okay, I know this now. When I was in the university, they mentioned it. Or when my friend was saying this thing, I sat there. Don't say, okay, ask question. Don't say, ask question. Okay. Let's go. So let's quickly look at anti-money laundering. I didn't even know that this was included. So that you can see. I wanted to point out what anti-money laundering is and I think the offenses. So anti-money laundering is a process of placing money gotten from illegal origins into a financial system in ways designed to conceal the origin of the money and to make the origin seem legal, to avoid drawing the attention of financial institutions like bank, like law enforcement agencies, with the aim of avoiding prosecution, conviction, or confiscation. I want to use an example. How many of you, if you have seen the movie Ozark, I want to know, has anybody seen Ozark? Ozark. Okay. In case we have not seen it, yes. Okay, Yvonne, thank you. Okay. So in Ozark, okay, thank you, Tanya. Oh, okay. Ozark is just Ozark. It is a powerful movie about an accountant, Matty Bird, I think so. Matty Bird and when Bird, and so Matty Bird is an accountant and he did some deals that went wrong. His partner died, so he had to move to the Ozarks, but he kept on laundering money for people. So what he does is that he gets money from people that have illegal means, and he takes it to another place and do it in a way, financial transaction, move it to an offshore account. Then he just does that thing. And this is what happens, and it happens with social enterprises a lot. That's why we have SCUMO. And that is why SCUMO tries to check money laundering and balances in designated non-financial institutions. one of the things you must avoid is people using you as, what do they call it? There's a word, or as a tractor, or yeah, as a tractor for channeling, or as a channel of money laundering. You must prevent that. You must not allow that in any way. So people used to have, so this is the techniques of money laundering. I'm not teaching you to launder money, but rather I'm teaching you to identify how, when somebody is trying to use you to launder money. One of the thing is called, we have placement, layering, and integration. The goal of placement is to deposit you know criminal funds into financial system without detection, and that is the placement. So what do they do is that change of currency, change of denomination, swapping small amount, and false invoicing. And one of those things one of those things that used to happen is that people will send you money and say, send it to me in another currency. Oh, I am muted. Okay, I'm back on.
Hi,
Oh,
Dinka.
thank you.
Please kindly check
Yeah.
your messages.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Vicky. I've seen that. All right. So you have a lot of people saying, oh, this is, I'll send you this money in naira. And they used to do it for people abroad. When Yahoo boys will say, my bro, you're in UK, please, I need a UK account number. Don't give them. And there's layering. It says to conceal funds. For example, somebody will just open a barbing salon, and the barbing salon will be looking very nice, but there are no traction because the to cut hair is like 100,000 or 50,000, and they will use that channel to, yeah, what do they call it now? They'll use that channel to launder the money, place the money there. Then the guy will take the money to the bank and act like it's money from his business, or do transfers with it. And integration, they'll now create a legitimate origin for the illegal fund to be invested by them into the economy. So because of time, I'm just going to be fast. One of the sources of um, illicit or criminal funds and illegal funds, let me just put it that way. You have tax crimes, you have bribery and corruption, you have trafficking, human beings, sexual exploitation, migrant smuggling, illicit traffic or stolen goods, counterfeiting currency, robbery, theft or extortion, murder, grievous and bodily injury, terrorism, all those kind of things. Those are part um suspicious activities or suspicious donation. One-off or unusual donations, one-off from somebody you don't know, or series of smaller donations. The person will just be sending you $200, $200, $200. You'll be happy for this person. So they can make you a vehicle, conditional transactions, say donations received from a known vendor through an unknown party in unusual way. You can be a vehicle for transferring funds, capital refunds, currency switch, all those things. So I'm just going to talk about risk management because of time briefly, so I can take questions. Um, risk is an uncertain event that creates a potential for loss or damage as a result of threat, exploiting a vulnerability in an organization. And risk management is the continued process of identifying, analyzing, evaluating, and to treat loss exposure and to monitor risks to mitigate the adverse effect of loss. And there are there is the risk management cycle, which you must always do from time to time. You must identify risks, you must analyze the risks, you must put a risk mitigation plan in place. You must have a risk management implementation, and you must review and track. You must review and track. You must review and track. So this is how to do a risk matrix. You have your severity and you have your probability. Some call it frequency, and likelihood, frequency and likelihood, and all those things. So as low as reasonable possible. So you just do all those things. Because of time, I'm going to stop here, I think, so that I can take questions. So if you have, if if you got something from the section, or let me, like, in the word of Eunice, if you add the right value from the section, just type in the chat box value. Then value. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, value. All right. Thank you, Favor. Thank you, Nafisa. Thank you, Abisoye. Oh, Abisoye is my colleague. She's the monitoring evaluation research and learning coordinator. Value. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Daban. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Shamaka. Thank you, Otokun. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go to the question Q&A section now, and I'm going to be taking the questions. I might not be able to take all questions, but I will take the ones that are relevant to the discussion. And also, the first question here says that, is it always necessary to give and send program of your project financial expenditure to those who are assisted with funds? Is it necessary? Yes. Is it compulsory? No. But is it necessary? Yes. It shows your integrity. Especially there are some funders that don't ask for anything, but it's always good how you have expended their money. Let them know. If it's a multi-year grant or a donation that is multi-year, as from year to year, just send them your financials, how the organization is doing. When funds are being disbursed for a project and inflation occurs, which affects your budget such that you can't meet all you intend to do, how do you deal with that? And that is why you must, when you are doing your project, you must ensure that the budget that you submit to the funder already has inflation factored in. The current inflation rate, if you look at, so this is what to do when you are doing your budgeting. So for us, they don't, if all this happen and you tell the funder, most of the time you bootstrap yourself. It means that you fund the remaining part. And that is why when you are doing your budgeting, you must ensure that you are very detailed in your budget. What do I mean? When you look at your economic assumptions and you say the inflation rate is 34.7%, let's say that's the inflation rate of Nigeria. That's the inflation rate. What is the projected inflation rate? They tell you that the inflation, that's what they'll tell you. They'll tell you that inflation is supposed to drop in 2025, projecting an inflation rate from 34% to maybe, let's say, 32%. That's the projected. The current inflation rate is 34. The projected is 32. You look at the year-on-year inflation rate. How has inflation grown? What is the study, the trend analysis of inflation? When you look at that trend analysis, you can deduce that should I add or subtract to this inflation rate. At times, you can do a variance of 3% plus or minus 3%. So you include it in your budget. That will prevent you. And once you see, once is a project, maybe a project as cap, like grant, if they say they're giving you only $5,000, everything you're doing in your project should not be more than that. You cap it immediately. I think that's the question. Thank you so much for this section. As a youth leading a community where project with limited funding, what are the best way to manage finances properly and stay transparent with donors and community? Emmanuel, that is Alan. Alan, get a professional. When I say get a professional that can volunteer. Get a third year accounting person to volunteer in the university, or a fourth year, a final year. The person that can just volunteer with you, that understands finances, and let you and the person sit down and design a structure. And when you design, give the person the autonomy. Do you understand? Give the person the autonomy to work. Okay. Second question, how can young person with disabilities build financial management skills, especially those who may not have access to formal training and true? Oh, through project and programs. Project and programs like Leap Africa now, we are going to have some certain programs for people with disability in the coming year, and that's going to happen. So there are different programs for people with disabilities that is happening. Look for those programs and key into it. MasterCard does it. Leap, we have tried this year and we're going to do it again. So all those kind of things is very important, and you would see. And you too, you can be the change you want to see. You can think about how the young people with disability would be financial skills, create a program around that and help them. So, okay, I think Emmanuel is giving me follow-up questions. He said, thank you, Mr. Denka, for the section. I understand dedication is better, but when it comes to financial authorities can be risky, what safeguard system do you recommend to ensure accountability and prevent misuse of fund when delegate? Oh, when you are delegating a financial role does not mean that the person have access to the money. What financial role means that the person have access to the books. There are two different things. Two different things. At Leap Africa, I don't approve financial transactions. I can upload financial transactions, but I don't approve. The executive director and the director of programs approve financial transactions. Do you know why? That is a way to curb, like, I'm the alpha and omega of no, 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 no. And it's always very good. The person that is doing your finances, the person is in charge of bookkeeping, books and everything. The money itself, the person can initiate where money goes. You can have the final authority to approve and say, no, this money is not going out. Oh, this money is going out. You can do that. So you don't give the person and say, okay, yeah, the person cannot be the sole signatory. Even the person who approve, the person will not be the signatory. There will be somebody that will countersign, and the person should not come from the finance team. The person that will come, you cannot have two people in finance team signing. Somebody different will sign. Does money laundry use normal account or other account? Like everything? Oh, everything. No, not just normal account. Every kind of account. Every kind of account. In volunteer-driven projects, what should be considered when choosing who holds the approve or consult rules to ensure both fairness or accountability? Volunteer-driven projects. Okay. You look at people, there are different ways to check. And one of the ways to check is competency, capability. Before you give somebody a role, you check their judgment. You've worked with them for a while. You see the way they carry things, you see the way they do things. At times too, professionalism is important. Is the person a professional in that field that you're trying to, is the person a professional in that area that are trying to delegate? Does the person have strength? So you look at the strength, you do a SWOT analysis. Let me just put it that way. You do a SWOT analysis for people. Is it necessary to sign up with CSC when you're starting out, since it's expensive and we're still sourcing for funds? Yes, it's very, very important, very necessary. People will not give you funding if you are not signed up with CSC. Can someone have some guideline for setting up his or her procedures from Leap Africa? Yes, that's why you're in this bootcamp. Yeah. If you need anything, you can ask Victoria. The team will support with that. How can I know the difference between laundry and a genuine continuous anonymous donation? Anonymous donation. That's key. Because one of the things that we do at Leap Africa is our anonymous giving come from a platform. We sign up on a platform. The platform is called Global Giving. That platform, Global Giving, verifies the person. Even if it's an anonymous tip, the Global Giving does the verification. Then when the person gives, Global Giving sends to us. So that we have cut short anybody. If you are going to send money to Leap Africa, you have to pay a funder, somebody that we know, somebody that we know, that we have done due diligence on. We know you. We know our funder, we know our customer, we know our clients, we know our vendors. That's what we do at Leap Africa. We know our beneficiary. So the first thing to do is sign up on like a platform that will help you filter. So the platform like Global Giving will help you filter that anonymous donation, will help you know who is the person, what kind of thing the person doing, all those kind of things. The person will feel it there. You will not even know. What you receive is an anonymous donation, but it comes through that platform, and that platform has already verified. So when the money is coming to you, the money is coming to you from Global Giving, and it's an anonymous donation. Okay, I think I've answered all the questions. All right, no more question. I'm good. All right. So we have come to the end of this section. Daniel Oderinde, your hands is raised, but you can always drop your question in the chat box. There is a Q&A section. Thank you, Serena. Thank you. I just talked about Global Giving. You can try that, Derek. So thank you very much. If you have enjoyed this section, just put it in the chat box. I enjoyed this section. I enjoyed this section. I did not waste my time. What is your question, Abdulganir Additional? What's your question? I can't find your question. If I have your question, I would answer it. Oh, just type Global Giving. Nafisa, type Global Giving on Google. You'll be able to register and sign up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, I'm just going to hand over the mic to Victoria. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me. It is an honor a huge honor to be here, a huge honor to talk to you, a huge honor to, do a lot, a lot with you guys. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Adeyinka. Thank you very much. Can we appreciate Mr. Adeyinka in the chat? Let's appreciate him. Let's thank him. Let's say thank you for all the knowledge you've shared with us this morning. It was really an insightful session, and I loved the fact that there were so much questions to be asked. And even in such limited time, he was able to do justice to some of the questions asked. Thank you very much, Adinka, for your time. Thank you for being with us this morning. All right. So we have come to the end of today's session, and it gives me great joy to let you know that today is the last live session of the boot camp. I can't see anybody's response in the chats. Let me check the chat and see. Okay, great. I know some people are happy that we are not coming online tomorrow. Okay, so today is the last day of the live session, but it's not the last time we are going to be engaging with you, because learning continues for us at Leap Africa. We have gone through a series of modules, and we have recordings of these sessions on YouTube, and also we have shared an email with some of the recordings with you. So we would like you to please go back to those sessions and pick up the slides and also listen to the recording, especially for those of us that did not start the bootcamp on time. Maybe you joined midway, or you're even joining today, being your first time in class today. It would really do you good to go back and pick up those slides and read and get yourself up to speed with your colleagues, so that we are all on the same knowledge wavelength. The second thing I also wanted to mention before we go is that yesterday was a deadline for proposal submission. We had asked that you refine your proposals and share with us based on the learnings from the boot camp. And yesterday we closed submission. So the next step for us will be to review your submission. That will take not close to 2 weeks because of the volume of applications that have come in. So we're going to be reviewing your application, and we'll be getting in touch with you whether you are successful or not. We will reach out to you if we need any further information from you. So this is an appeal to please keep an eye on your inbox, your email, your spam folder, your promotion folder, just in case we send you an email, so that you can respond adequately to any question we're asking or any information we require from you. We also want you to know that volunteer application is still ongoing. So if you're a project lead and you have submitted your proposal, doesn't mean that you need to stop accepting volunteer on your project. So we want you to continue to source for volunteers, especially if you haven't gotten any volunteer yet on your project. You can share the link from the YDoS website. So just go to the website, search for your project, and share the link widely with your network. Ensure that the people that are signing up on your project are registered through that project link, so that we can have their details and follow up also with them. The last but not the least would be around your project's branding and merchandise. So usually every year we have branding materials that we use to increase publicity for the Youth Day of Service project. So we will be sharing those templates containing the logos, what you need to know about our media kit so that you can align yourself with that appropriately. Please do not use our logos without our permission. If you need to produce anything, send us the draft first so that we can review and approve before you go ahead with any production you want to do. That will be all from my end. Just checking with Oluwaseyi if you have any other thing you want them to also know. Hi, Oluwaseyi.
Hi, Victoria. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Right. Thank you very much. And good morning. Good morning, everyone, once again. Victoria has pretty much shared all the information. I just wanted to appreciate those of you who has been consistent with the bootcamp and all project leads who have also submitted their project proposals. I would just want to plead with you to please read. If you have any question, please drop it on the group so that someone from the team can respond to your question and provide an answer to it. Just to ensure that we have enough time to focus on reviewing those applications that have been submitted. For individuals who just registered maybe last week or you just registered this week and you're joining, you missed some part of the bootcamp. There are recordings that will be shared and there is an attendance. All of you are going to get an email for those who missed the actual session and will be watching the recording. So we also have an attendance for that to be able to know those who actually went back to the recording if they missed the actual live sessions. And the attendance is quite different from this. So there are things in the attendance that will help us know if you actually watch those recordings. So we'll share that with you. Just be on the lookout. Kindly check your email. This is one of the time in YDoS where you need to pay close attention to your email. Please check your emails regularly. And that will be all for now. Like Victoria said, this is not, the bootcamp has ended, but this is not the end of our interaction with you. The webinar series is still ongoing. There's another webinar coming on July 3rd, and we will definitely share the information about that on your group when it is ready. There are times when we might also be having, what do you call it now, town hall meetings to address if we receive some questions, a lot of questions from different people. We'll put up a town hall meeting so that we can address all of that. So thank you very much, everyone. As you fold your hands and you're waiting for the outcome of the proposals that you submitted, I wish you the very best. Over to you, Victoria.
Thank you very much, Oluwaseyi, for that charge. Before we go, I'd like everyone to turn on their cameras. Let's take a group picture. This is the time I need to know if you are in class or you are somewhere eating, or you're eating jollof rice or eating semo. Please turn on your cameras, everyone, so that we can take a group picture. The option is not there. Oh, okay. Just give me a minute. Let's see.
Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Oluwaseyi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So I think because of the setup of the meeting and because it's a webinar, I'm not sure they'll be able to turn on their video. So I just confirmed from Larry, they won't be able to turn on their video, but I think there is something we can do actually. We have a total of 142 on the call now. Before you leave the session, take a screenshot of your screen and then do a selfie and post on any of the social media channel that you are you're active on. Write something, some of your key takeaway from this whole bootcamp. Victoria is going to drop the hashtag for YDoS on all of the groups. And Victoria, I think you can drop it on the chat so that they post and just use that so we can ride on that. Because of the setup of the meeting, they won't be able to switch on their camera.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you. So let's do that, everyone. I'm dropping the hashtag in the chat.
Okay, Victoria, I want you to upload something on the screen that shows YDoS. Are you able to do that?
Let me see if I can. Please give me a minute.
All right. Yes, tag Leap Africa, tag YDoS. And then there's a hashtag that we'll share with you for you to use. The hashtag is
Hashtag YDoS service.
youthful and useful.
Okay. Sorry, it's coming up. Oh, it says I can't share. I can't bring it up. Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's not coming up. But let's go ahead to share, take the screenshots, like Oluwaseyi has said, and share our key takeaways. Make sure you add your selfie, your face into the picture so that we can all see you. And if you have any further questions, please let's go to the WhatsApp group and continue the engagement there. Thank you very much for your engagement so far. No, don't take a screenshot of the chat. So don't take
You
a
can take what
screenshot
is
of
on the
the
screen now. Look at the screen.
Can everyone see the screen? Okay. So please take the screenshots and let's go on social media and make very good noise about the bootcamp and the day of service. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Nafisat. Please tag Leap Africa and your day of service so that we can see your post. Thank you.